Thank you, Mr. Williams, and a pleasant good afternoon to all listening this broadcast via whatever means. Today, I will address an issue that has become somewhat controversial. It is the issue of the reduction of the carrying capacity in public service vehicles. I must first indicate that this is a public health measure and it's for a limited time in the first instance. And it is to allow for the investigation by the Ministry of Health and to contain the virus that is seemingly spreading at this time. Public service vehicles have been implicated as one of the mode of transport for infected persons. Therefore, it has become necessary that we take precautionary measures to protect users of this service. Several protocols have been in place over the last year to protect drivers and their passengers. Sadly, these protocols were ignored by many persons. The new COVID-19 Prevention and Control Order merely limits the number of passengers that are permitted to half of the carrying capacity and re-emphasize the mask wearing and sanitization protocols that has been in place all along. The carrying capacity is determined by the number of passengers the vehicle was registered and licensed to carry, which should be displayed in a conspicuous place inside the vehicle. This number does not include the driver. It is important to note that the Vehicles and Road Traffic Act stipulates that 2 children under the age of 12 years makes 1 passenger. So a simple way to determine what number of passengers you should be carrying is to look at the number of passengers your vehicle is licensed, the number of passengers that is displayed in your vehicle, and divide that by 2, 50%. So if you're licensed to carry 14 passengers, at this time you're only permitted to carry 7, and that does not include the driver. So the 7 passengers plus the driver, you would get 8 persons on that vehicle. So the number of passengers that you are permitted to carry is half of your normal carrying capacity. We therefore appeal to bus owners and operators to cooperate with the health authorities as they work to prevent the control and spread of the coronavirus at this time. You can do your part to ensure that we return to a quicker normal operations by getting vaccinated and encouraging your passengers to do likewise. As we go through this weekend, I wish to remind everyone that the nightly curfew continues under the authority of the Public Health Restriction of Movement Regulations. Again, this is another public health measure designed to control and prevent the spread of the virus by limiting the time and opportunities for social activities that may facilitate such spread. Therefore, from 11 p.m. nightly until 5 a.m. the following day, until June 8th, all persons are required to be at their residence unless special permission is granted by virtue of your employment as an essential worker or for medical or other emergencies, or unless, of course, you receive permission in writing from the Commissioner of Police. We appeal to bar owners to ensure that you cease operation in sufficient time to allow your staff and patrons to be at their residence before the curfew time. Those persons who have received electronic curfew passes are reminded that these passes should only be used in the course of your duties and should not be abused. Any abuse of the privilege will result in the revocation of the passes and possible arrest and prosecution. Similarly, persons found away from their residence during the curfew time without permission runs the risk of being arrested. Regulation 5 of the regulation provides for severe penalties for breaches. A person who contravenes or fails to comply with these regulations shall, on summary conviction, be liable to a fine not exceeding $5,000 or to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 6 months, or both. We therefore solicit your fullest cooperation as we work together to ensure that we get through this period safely. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent.